Hello everyone, special hello to Panda Child. Today I'm going to start my wordy ramblings, explain some crochet things to people, as per request that I put out there myself first, that people might be interested in kind of explaining or showing the things that I've done with crochet. So kind of brought it all into the bedroom today since it's going to be my face, because I'm just going to hold things up and show them. When I get into how to do the different stitches and explain what those mean, it'll be light directly down onto the actual crochet itself, and not like this, because I feel like maybe this won't be enough for you to be able to see what it is. But it is good enough to show you some yarn and some hooks. So I started with the what do you understand about crochet, kind of what's the baseline that we're working with, and there were some responses that you didn't understand the different hooks or you didn't understand the yarns themselves. So I'm just going to do a brief rundown of hooks and yarns, to the best of my ability, although I'm not known for being very brief. So I'm going to start with this yarn here. What it's made out of doesn't particularly matter. This is 50% cotton and a 50% acrylic, and would use it to make shawls and wraps. It is lace weight yarn. It's very, very skinny. So this would be a very skinny yarn. You would use it to make things that look like lace, hence the name, lace weight yarn. It uses little itty bitty hooks to achieve that kind of final result. I'll show you those when I show you the hooks later. And I have, where I lost it. Well, poop. I paused it, and now I'm back, because I had a thing and I lost it. So I made little 10x8 squares using these different weights of yarn to kind of show you, and I lost the tiny one that I used with the lace weight. So this would be single crochet. It is 10 stitches across, and it's about 8 wide, and it makes this teeny little thing that goes with that tiny little lace weight. Next up that I have on me is this kind of finger weight. It is thicker than the lace weight, but it is thinner than a worsted, like a medium weight. It makes nice baby blankets or scarves or whatever you want to do with it. It's bigger, same 10 across, but it isn't as big as the medium weight yarn that's most commonly used by me. Maybe it's not the most commonly used by other people, but I use it all the time. So that would be this kind of fatter one. It's a medium weight. It would make a 10 square. It's about this big. So this would be kind of the regular weighted one. You held up a finger weight next to it. See, it's not nearly as large across. And then the lace weight, of course, itty bitty. So you can see that there's a vast difference in the size based on the size of the yarn. I don't have any bulky weight yarn that isn't already used in something, so I could not just show you the yarn itself as an example. I do have the bath mat that I've made. It's quite chunky. So this is actually 2 different chunky yarns that I put together to make it super bulky. But as you can see, 10 across on this would be substantially larger than the other ones. Which is just kind of all the different sizes. There's a few other sizes on the in-between, but you get the idea. The smaller the yarn, the smaller the project. The bigger the yarn, the bigger the project. The same is true for the hooks themselves. The smaller the hook, the smaller the project. The bigger the hook, the bigger the project. It's like, for hooks, the smallest hook I have is this one. It is a 0.6 millimeter hook. It is a hook, but just cha. I would use very, very thin with this one. And then like the largest hook that I have is this one. So I would not use this on lace weight. I can't even imagine trying to make that work. But at the same time, I wouldn't use that little hook with this big bulky yarn, or even the medium weight yarn, because there's just no way I could pull up a loop. So it is important that you use the hooks that are within the range of the size of the yarn that you're going to use to do your project. As far as what it's made out of, that's a personal preference. Most of these are acrylic or a cotton and acrylic blend, or just pure cotton, because those are the ones I prefer. There's also silk and wool and all kinds of things. When you're learning how, before you get into fancier things, it is better to find the ones that are really smooth so that you can see what you're doing. So they do make fancy eyelash yarn and things of that nature, and projects later on I'll use some of that so you can just kind of see it in action. But for now, if you're just now learning, some smooth worsted weight yarn and some hooks that are the size that it suggests, even it gives suggestion size on the packaging itself. So you'll want the ones that are within that range. Like this is a 6mm hook. It's for what I'd use it for. It's a big hook, so I would use this with a medium, like a worsted weight yarn. You can see the stitches really cleanly, but I could also use a 5.5 or a 5 or even a 4.5 and it'd still be good to go. The bigger the number, the bigger the hook, as far as just regular hooks go. This is one type of hook. This is just a regular standard crochet hook. It is metal, but it is an ergonomic one, so it's got the rubber and it's got the little grippy areas so that your hand doesn't necessarily hurt as fast. These are plastic, they don't bend. I have bamboo hooks as well. I like these too. This is an inline bamboo hook. The nice thing about those is they also don't bend. This one's a 9mm, just in case you're wondering the size I was holding up. They're all labeled with what size they are. That's helpful because when they're all in a line together, sometimes they kind of look a little bit alike when they're close in size. So whatever kind you want, and then this is a, what are you? You are a 3.75mm or an F hook, just a metal hook. As you can see, it's a little bit bent because the metal ones will bend, and so they're not long-term durability so much, but you know, for I'm not sure if I want to even do this, let me just pick up a cheap hook, look in that range of medium yarn, and look in the range of like a 6 to a 5mm hook, and that'll give you that kind of beginning stage range. See if you even like it. I've been collecting hooks for an extended period of time because I have been crocheting since I was 13. So I have lots and lots and lots of hooks because I've had lots and lots and lots of time. Sometimes you can find like a set, like that'll have them all. I want to say that the ergonomic one came as a big set, so I didn't have to buy them individually. And then I got the bamboo ones, and then I put them in this thing. You don't have to have one of these things, but it helps me keep my nonsense organized, because I will make a giant mess and spread it out all over my entire house without a second thought. A couple of other things that you would need in terms of supplies to really get started is you would need a pair of scissors, really any scissors you should do. I like to use these scissors. I think they either came with one of my crochet sets, or they might have come with my embroidery set, but either way, snips really evenly and very quickly, and I'm left-handed, so although I will show you how to crochet right-handed, when it comes to using scissors, left-handed scissors don't work very well, and right-handed scissors are backwards for me, so I like these because it doesn't matter. Same either way. And then you would need, for later projects, not exactly at this exact moment do you have to have something like this, but you would need some needles at some point. I like to use the plastic ones. They're just a needle, just plastic, but it's dull. Comes in different colors. Keep them. I have a couple of regular needles in there too, but for most of the things that I do, a plastic needle is sufficient. And they come in a variety of different sizes, so just get like a set of whatever. And stitch markers. You may or may not follow along with some patterns that are in the round or require a stitch marker to help you mark your stitch. Mine look like this. This is one kind. It locks so that I can hook it on and keep it, and then I don't have to worry about it accidentally coming out, although you can use threads of different color yarn, just something visual that you can see. I think this one might have another, no, it doesn't. I was going to say I thought this one might have had a different kind of stitch marker in it. It's just a curly hue. Oh, it does, In case you're not into the idea of the ones that lock on it, you can use one that has a frilly too. We're doing yard work outside today. I'm not helping. I don't help. Uh, like those. Just a little, just hooks on right through the little thing. So like if I was using this and I was at the end and I needed to mark that stitch, it's at the end, which at later time I will actually show you what I'm talking about. I just hook it on it. Now I've marked it. So I'll know that that was my 10th stitch. In case I'm doing something where it's easy to lose count, they're really good to have. The final crochet hook I'm going to show you is one that we won't be using anything like this for quite some time because it would definitely qualify as a more complex stitch. But if later on down the line you had an interest in learning Tunisian crochet, you will need Tunisian crochet hooks. I will show you the whole set of these. This is just the kind I have. They make other kinds. I like this kind the best. It's a hook. This one happens to be bamboo. Sometimes they're metal or plastic. And this one has a tube that comes off of it with a knot at the end, so you can crochet the full length of this whole thing and hold it on, because Tunisian crochet keeps things on it. So you would need either a really long hook or you would need something like this that has somewhere for them to go. I prefer these because I have short arms and am clumsy, and the long ones, I hit myself in the face with them, so I don't use them. But perhaps that's a me thing. You are welcome to look into those for yourself. I do believe that that is pretty much everything that you would need to see to have kind of a basic idea about what the crochet hooks are and some of the other supplies that you would have to have and what kind of different yarn means. If you do have any questions, feel free to let me know. And the next one will be the beginning stages of how to actually do it. So we'll start with the pause the video because occasionally my aphasia kicks in and I can't remember words. We will start with the slip knot and then the foundation chain, because you have to know that before you can do any other types of crochet. So that'll be the first thing I get into, and that will be the same kind of concept that will hold true for both in the round and in rows, and I will explain both of those over time. We will now find out if I have the ability to edit a video on my own, and if not, everyone can follow along with the very awkward pauses. And yeah, so that's really all I have. I hope everybody has a really great rest of their day. Thanks for watching, if you did, and I'll see you later.